Ladies and gentlemen, grab your lawyer caps because guess what? We have some Darrell Brooks coming in. Now, this is a bit of an unusual post about Darrell Brooks. We're not going to be completely making fun of him. He actually has a bit of a case right here. Now, this is right before sentencing, and apparently a Reddit post had gotten leaked about the entire case. Now, the interesting thing about this Reddit post, I'm going to throw it up real quick. This person was pretending to be a juror and sharing their opinions online. So that shit, it kind of rattled the case right there toward the end. But I think it came from a Darrell Brooks support site, which is like weird. There's always like the major anti to something that's like in the world. Like if you have an evil in the world, there's going to be somebody who's going to be like, nah, but he's all right. He's good though. But anyway, Darrell Brooks gets wind of this and absolutely has a field day with it, trying to be like a real lawyer now. So he's not blowing up and damn near cursing out the judge. He has his manners. But anyways, let's get straight into this video. It's a long one. It's a good one. So, grab the ganja, if you're after work, get the alcohol if you need it. Everybody strap in. We're going to get straight into this one. Let's do it. Oh, and if you're sober, grab some juice. Hell yeah. We all my sober people out there. Hit me up in the comments. Love y'all too. All right, let's do it.
Guess some of the language that's in it. It's very concerning.
That's why there's an investigation, sir. It's anytime there's an allegation that the integrity of this judicial process has been compromised, especially with a juror, I take that incredibly seriously, which is why I turned it over to the Sheriff's Department.
I would like Your Honor to, if it pleases the court, and if it pleases.
When last have you heard him say, if it pleases the court? It's almost like we just started the trial when he was trying to be Mr. Lawyer with his street clothes on. If it pleases the court, shut the hell up. Nothing that you do pleases the court, dog. Oh, and y'all, there is so much Darrell Brooks content, yo. Like, let me know if you guys are getting tired of it. But every time I'm getting close to finishing, I find some more stuff. So I'm like, well, screw it. You guys are still enjoying it, so let me know. But let's continue this.
Pleases Your Honor, I would like to look at some alternatives. If I may bring up the in regards to the language, I also want to state that for the record, this did not come about from the prosecution side, from the defense's side, and certainly not from Your Honor's side. This is something that just pretty much sprang up. A lot of my concern, though, just not from just the language in the actual post, but I was kind of concerned that I was the last one to learn of this information that had been known. I wasn't aware of it until...
Yeah, they probably didn't want you to know because you were going to act a damn fool like a little child and start kicking and screaming. And you know where he's going with this. Where is he going, guys? Take a big guess. A mistrial, Just wrap the case up and throw it away. Just forget about the whole thing. Apple from a poisonous tree or whatever the hell they call it. Let's just call this a mistrial. No, sir. That's not going to happen.
After 6:30 last night, or around that time, because I don't want to misquote the record, but somewhere around that time.
It was shortly after 7.
Oh, so it was after. I didn't know. I thought it was. I knew it was after 6:30, but I didn't want to incorrectly state the record.
You see how he's trying to be respectful
I can
now?
address that for you right now if you would like.
Yeah, if it pleases Your Honor, I would like to request some alternatives to this issue.
What's your specific request?
My specific
My Pacific Ocean request is that we dive deep down under the depths of the ocean like Ocean Gate and crumble.
request would be to look into a mistrial and
Oh,
also any alternatives.
it took him so long to say that. What else possibly could have been on his mind? Screaming for mistrial. His heart is pounding. He's like, this could be it, guys. I could be out these doors, in a matter of hours.
Along those lines, short of that or along those lines or a mistrial. I was looking at some, obviously, yesterday was very, very long for everybody. And as you know, because of my status here in the jail, I'm allowed to have law library time up until a certain point of the evening, and then I have to shut it down.
Nobody cares about your library time, bro. You read one page of one book and felt like you could call a mistrial. Like, come on now. Prosecutors are gonna nail you to the wall, ruthlessly.
Now, per jail policy. So I was able to find a few different things that I wanted to bring to Your Honor's attention, if I may.
Go ahead.
One being United States versus Perez, 22 U.S. 579. And that specifically, I think it's referenced, because that one is pretty old in itself, but it's referenced in a lot of the other case laws that I actually found. I think, and I could be, if I'm interpreting this incorrectly, I apologize. They kind of use that as kind of like the benchmark.
What's funny is Darrell probably knows exactly what case he's talking about, and she's just listening to him like, oh my God, all the incorrectness in this. But hey, if he was going to the library before like the entire trial, and he was there every day, then maybe he would have had a few more things to say. You know what I mean? Because today, my boy, he seems like a well-learned young man, mid-aged man, douchebag. But like, he seems like he's done his research. Wow. Now, what if you did your research before then? What if you got a lawyer? That would have been the craziest part too. What if you got a lawyer?
Ish Brown versus Rushton, 572 F.3.
I mean, I'm surprised he can read. Like, shit.
United States versus Bates. That's Bates.
I mean, my boy did his research. He's out here really trying. He's saying that, if there's a mistake, you're going to have to reverse the trial to a certain amount of time, this and that. Now, the one thing I will say is that the fact that the Reddit post got so out of hand is startling, because that really could have, imagine that was a mistrial. Luckily, the person who ran the Reddit, said that, they didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. This wasn't them. It was a joke. But damn, I mean, that's a little scary.
It's extremely concerning. Extremely concerning. And then this post, and I don't know what Reddit is, to be honest. I've never heard of it or used it, so I don't know the extent of. It's almost like this could be like a snowball type of thing. It can start with something that's this small, and then it can snowball out of control into something totally different. I don't know the extent of this website. I don't know who. Well, I think the name of the person who sent the who alerted the clerk, of course, to this post. I think his name is in the email. But then that even begs the question of, how did this person come across this site? What is their significance to this? What is their role in this? It's just so many questions, and I mean, clearly this points at the court's integrity. It points at your integrity, Your Honor. It's a
You know what's hilarious is a minute ago he was like, I know this is not from you, Your Honor, or the prosecution.
I also want to state that, for the record, this did not come about from the prosecution side, from the defense's side, and certainly not from Your Honor's side.
This dude is all over the place. This is why when gaslighting, again, I say I don't like that word because a lot of people like to abuse that word, but this is a good case of gaslighting. He first of all, and he's not keeping track with what he's saying because he first says that, oh, yes, Your Honor, I know that it wouldn't be from you and it wouldn't be from the prosecution for sure. Now, all of a sudden, he's trying to prove his point, so he's going to gaslight you a little bit. He's like, this looks at your integrity, Your Honor, and the prosecution, and this entire trial. Mistrial, Your Honor. Look at him.
I mean, clearly this points at the court's integrity. It points at your integrity, Your Honor. It's alarming. It's very alarming. And if there's a chance that there can be hidden bias in this jury, it needs to be addressed now rather than later.
Damn, that the fact that he said those words made him, he got a few lawyer points because it sounded a bit coherent. My boy was in the cell rehearsing. He was like, it needs to be addressed. If there was any bias in the jury, it needs to be, like, he was like, okay, I'm going to say these words perfectly. I'm going to sound like a real lawyer.
Needs to. And if
Watch
there's
him go. Watch him go.
Chance that there can be hidden bias in this jury, it needs to be addressed now rather than later.
And my boy's vocabulary is expanding. He'll have a lot of time to expand this vocabulary in jail. I hope he becomes a scholar in prison. You know what I mean? Gather all that knowledge and then die with it.
This is very concerning.
Oh, I know, sir. I know it is. Do you guys think this is concerning? I think this is very concerning. Shit, that's another shirt right there. I'm just thinking about shirts right now, but yo, this is very concerning. No, it doesn't ring as much as what's the lawful law. That's gonna be the best one. What's the lawful law?
Well, thank you for bringing up your concerns. Let me turn to the state if they want to respond, and then see what other issues they want to cover this morning.
Judge, the original post was on a subreddit thread called Justice for Darrell. That's the copy that the defendant has in front of him. That post was edited last night, claiming that it was a prank from the start and that the original poster didn't think it would get that far out of hand. The way that Reddit works, the only person who can modify the content of the original post is the original poster, and because
I mean, what kind of sick fuck do you have to be to make a whole fake Reddit post and prank the judicial system into thinking that a juror was typing their thoughts online? That's kind of like set the world on fire and watch it burn type of activities right there. Like, what the hell, bro? I feel like you could damn near go to jail for that, like some sort of obstruction or something, but I'm sure he realized that and was like, oh, nope. It was a joke and deleted his IP or deleted all his history or something. But, yeah, man, Darrell really got thrown, like, you know, the dollar bill on the edge of the fishing pole. He got thrown that dollar bill and it went a little too close. He almost grabbed it because even I was like, damn. There's a juror talking on Reddit? And even if the thought of a juror talking on Reddit or something like that, you would want to just, mistrial, right?
the jurors have no access to any electronic devices, I think it's safe to say that our 12 jurors back there are not the original poster. So I think that puts that issue pretty much to bed. It's still obviously under investigation because the court takes it so seriously, but there really is no actionable or any real reason why we should doubt the jury's being unbiased in this case.
I object to that on the grounds, Your Honor, that, like you just stated, it's an investigation going on. And if there's investigation, then that clearly says that something is amiss.
True.
We have 15. We have 15 jurors. There's still too many questions that we don't know. Too many. I don't think anything's put to bed because we don't know. It's unfair to say that the issue is put to bed when there's still so many questions left out there. I'm sure you reviewed it yourself, Your Honor. You see the language in this, whatever it is, thread.
I like how he says you see the language. What language are they using? Like, that's yeah, my thoughts on the Darrell Brooks case. Is that what you mean by the language? Like, what does he mean? If it was a real juror, that would be a problem, but it's not.
I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's clearly a post from somebody who has intimate knowledge of the trial and what's going on in the trial. I don't think, I mean, common sense would tell you that this is someone who's very close to the case, whether they were intending to be funny, whether they were intending to try to prank the court or anything like that. We don't know. That could be anybody's guess. The language in this, the way that it's formatted, they lay out 4 specific points of what they think. They point to certain language in the case.
What language? Oh my God, is he just using the word language to sound like smart or something? Like, what language specifically, Mr. Brooks, are they using that makes you feel like that they're in the jury, I should say? Like, what? I don't get it. What language? He keeps using that word.
They make references to saying when we were in the room, they got certain feelings from when where they specifically refer to themselves and a group. That would be we, plural.
Are you just reading it?
They say, and I have to admit, I am biased against the defendant for the horrible acts he did. And they attack you, Your Honor. They clearly attack you. This is if this is someone's idea of fun, is anybody's guess, but I don't believe that it is, clearly by the way it's formatted and by the language that is in it.
I get what he's saying. Okay, so by the language that was in it, meaning we, I, us, I was a part of the jury. That's just somebody who's good at fucking with you, bro. I mean, obviously he knows that, but he's grabbing onto any straw. For him, this is real. This is as real as it's gonna get to him getting off. I swear to you, his heart is pounding with hope, with hopefulness. He's like, man, I just need one slip up and I am out of here. But nah, bro, you're going to jail. Like, what the hell? Like, we saw you drive over people. Like, you can't really. They're gonna get you for something, you know? Like how Denzel Washington says, I'm leaving here with something. I mean, they're gonna get you for something, dog.
This is clearly someone with intimate knowledge of the case and what's going on. Clearly. There's no other way to interpret this. You can tell by maybe
they just watch a lot of court cam, you know, places like AG Tactical, you know, places like Law and Crime. Stop playing with them, boy. They're just really close and decide to be a douchebag that day. And man, did you run with that.
They're laying out in the language that they're speaking with. If this is clearly someone close to the case. And because of that, it still has to be I'm informed of the investigation, but there's still too many questions left in the air just from this. How can we say anything's put to bed when there's still an investigation? For all we know, what if this turns up that it was someone on the jury? Or what if it turns out that more people are involved in it than just whoever this anonymous person was who left the post? It's too many questions and it's too concerning.
She's just letting them go.
What if something like this springs up again at the last minute? We've been going through the
He
trial.
literally said, what if this comes up at the last minute? Twice. He's going in circles now. He doesn't know what else to say. Right at this point, he's run out of things to say.
Now for basically 3 weeks, the better part of 3 weeks. And even in court dates leading up to the trial, we've never had anything like this happen. Nothing like this has been brought to your attention. Nothing like this has been brought before the court's attention. This just came out of the blue, and now all of a sudden it's being labeled a prank. Is that because they were found out? I mean, it begs so many questions. It's too uncertain.
That's a good one. That's a good idea. That's a good theory that, you know, they got caught. So, it's just a prank. Delete your account. Delete your entire Reddit account and act like nothing happened. But I think there's still digital footstep. They'll still get the IP. They'll track you to where you were. They'll probably track who was using it. Like, you know, they would be able to find out if it was a juror. Trust me.
Concerning, and it's too alarming. It's too alarming to just overlook and say, "Oh well, we'll just set it to the side and let them." No, this there has to be some type of alternatives and something has to be done. Something, and if that's a mistrial, if that's
A mistrial,
discharging a jury, if that's some other type of alternatives that can be looked at, I'm sure that these case law speaks to other options that could come into play. They deserve to at least be looked at. If anything.
I like how they're over there just having their championship lap, talking about their kids and shit. Like, what was Billy doing this morning? Can you believe that he said something so, like, bro, they're done. It's over with, bro.
They deserve to at least be looked at.
He's over here begging for his life.
If anything, to protect the integrity of the trial. I find it very hard to believe that this close to the trial being over, now all of a sudden these issues are being raised. So this is obviously not a prank, and it's obvious that this is someone with intimate knowledge. It's very clear to me.
Hey, guess what? It's very clear to him. It's very clear to him. Maybe not to anybody else in the fucking world, but to him it is.
Well, let me address your concerns, sir. I cannot make conclusions at this point about whether this is legitimate or a prank. What I know is as follows. I received the information about the subreddit post at approximately 9:30, 9:40 yesterday morning. I and I alone made the decision to withhold advising the parties because of where we were at in the trial, because there was nothing in that post. It was an anonymous post that would lend credibility to that it was in fact one of these jurors. But out of an abundance of caution, I referred it to law enforcement because it is very serious if the integrity of these proceedings were to be put at issue by a juror. I'd remind you though, every single day these jurors were read the bulk of jury instruction 50. They all took an oath, and I have no reason to doubt that they would violate that oath at this time.
What I want to know is when they were not being monitored and when they were outside of the court, what were they doing? Because, I mean, you could get to a phone quite easily, to be honest. So, like, you know, there's a possibility. But at the end of the day, I wish that was a real juror. You know what I mean? I wish they did talk their shit and he still got convicted because the evidence is so overwhelming. What are we talking about? Why are we even having this trial? That's what's fucking me up. The dude should have just been put to capital punishment. The end. Move on with your life. Let the family grieve. But now we have to do this shit? America, bro. I mean, I love it because if you are innocent, then you could fight your case. But this is so outright, no loopholes, nada. It's him. There's no other person who could have done it.
So I took And I made the decision to withhold telling the parties because we were in the middle of instructing the jury. I was in the middle of instructing the jury. And I wasn't going to delay the proceedings because it was so speculative at that point and remains speculative at this point. As you know, the case went to the jury. I brought this up. I waited about a half an hour once the case went to the jury. Frankly, we had had a long day. I wanted to get a bit to eat, and then I wanted to come back out and make a record of what I had. Once again, the forensic unit with the Sheriff's Department has taken lead of this investigation. I'm not a part of that investigation. Law enforcement will handle it. From my perspective, not only did the Clerk of Court's office receive emails regarding this, it sounds like the district attorney received emails. I may have even gotten one, I don't remember the time, it was later, regarding the post. Frankly, people figure out my email all the time. It was not solicited by me in any way, and I did not respond to it, and I simply forwarded that email onto law enforcement. So it's pretty clear to me that a lot of people have access to Reddit. I personally am not a user of Reddit, so I don't know the ins and outs of it, other than it is a social media site where people can create accounts and post, and there can be like chat rooms, for example, or just various, as this is called, subreddits. And at this point, you've requested a mistrial. You've requested that I discharge the jury. I'm declining to do that at this time, sir. Again, I need to make decisions.
Declined. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? We are not throwing this trial out. Trust me. All these people in this room, they're not doing this again. This is one and done, for sure.
Based upon the record that's before me. And right now, the record is speculative. There are no facts to support a mistrial or discharging the jury. I trust the parties will continue in their own independent investigations, that you will continue reviewing case law, make whatever requests that you deem appropriate. I certainly will take time to look at the cases you have cited, to see if there's anything based upon the requests that you have made that I would need to further review. But at this time, I do not see grounds for a mistrial. I do not see grounds to discharge the jury. And that is how I will address it at this point.
Heart sank. Look at his face. Dun, dun, dun. So you thought you were getting up out of here, huh?
I know the state, I believe, wanted to address something else. I'm not sure if that was it, but you had deferred to Mr. Brooks, so go ahead. Is there anything you want me to address or at least bring to the court's attention at this time?
Just a minor point, Your Honor. You had noted the defendant is in his orange jail uniform today. It's my understanding the jail did offer him the ability to put on his street clothes.
All right, so they're just going to berate him about his street clothes, and he's going to proceed to argue back. I love this guy. He's so entertaining. But anyways, y'all, that was him trying his very best to get that mistrial. He was pushing hard for that mistrial. But obviously, you're not going to get it, bro. Like, come on now. We saw you do it. We saw you do it. It doesn't matter if every juror had a personal Reddit page and was running their opinions to the world about it. It doesn't matter. You're still going to go to jail, bro. We saw you. Anyways, y'all, I love you guys, man. It's been such a fire, awesome ride with you guys. At the time of this recording, we're at 9.5K subscribers. Fuck yeah, you guys are the best, the illest squad ever. We're coming up on 10K. It's a beautiful thing. Until the next one, y'all, stay inside, stay safe. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, man. We're out of here. Peace.